Over the past years of doing top 10 Transformers videos, you might have noticed that Optimus Prime has pretty much managed to be #1 on a majority of them. Whether it be the strongest Transformers category or going up against himself in the two separate live action continuities, Bay Optimus continues to dominate the competition. And I just gotta be honest with you guys, it's kinda gotten redundant at this point. He's just too powerful, and to top it off, he's a Prime. But what if we pit him against other Primes in the live action universe?
Did you forget who I am?
Before we dive into this topic, I'm going to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Crunchyroll. If you're looking for the best way to watch unlimited ad-free anime in 1080p HD on all of your devices, Crunchyroll has you covered. I know the most popular thing to do is watch your favorite shows via illegal streaming sites, but you end up waiting days after the episode has already aired just to get a subpar fan sub in low quality. Thankfully, Crunchyroll uploads the newest episodes of awesome anime an hour after they've aired in Japan, and they've all been professionally subtitled. As you may have noticed, I am a big fan of Giant Robot Mayhem, and one of my favorite shows to watch on Crunchyroll is Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, the latest installment that's made to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the greatest mecha franchise of all time. There's a lot of stuff here, so come and experience it for yourself. You can do so by going to crunchyroll.com/randomblackgamer, or you can click the link in the description to get a 14-day free trial of Crunchyroll. That's crunchyroll.com/randomblackgamer. So be sure to head on over there, and while you're doing that, let me know what titles I should be checking out on Crunchyroll. But as I was saying guys, I wanted to do a video topic covering the strongest primes in the Bay Transformers, because our good old friend Robo Jesus seems to be tallying up points for the end-all be-all best character award. And that's expected when you're a direct descendant of the most powerful being in the Transformers universe. But what if we pit him up against others who are also in that upper echelon of primes? Being a Prime is a rank of highest distinction in many Transformers continuities. Typically it's used as the identification for the leader of the Autobots, something that is bestowed only to those that carry the matrix of leadership within them. It is retroactively derived from Primus, the creator of the Transformers. With the retcon that Primus is one singular entity that exists and must exist threaded through almost all the Transformers continuities, the term Prime is likewise given one singular origin. It was, first of all, the designation granted by Primus to many of the 13 original Transformers created by his own hand at the dawn of the physical universe to create his planetary form. In the live-action universe, the title of Prime was bestowed upon the civilian and spiritual leader of Cybertron, but at the same time aided the Lord High Protector in stewarding the Allspark, just as the Lord High Protector was co-ruler. Optimus Prime held this title before, during, and after the war for the Allspark as leader of the Autobots. By 2007, Optimus Prime was the only Prime known to still be alive and the only one who could defeat the Fallen, as only a Prime can defeat the Fallen. The Fallen is going to be the lowest Prime on this list because, for one, when we saw him in Transformers 2, he was half the bot he used to be. 19,000 years ago, he and his Prime brethren landed on Earth, and he defied the important rule, never destroy a planet with life. But he ignored the value of life besides his, so he tried to steal the matrix of leadership to power the Sun Harvester. But in the end, the dynasty put a stop to his evil plan and hid the matrix of leadership in a tomb made of their own bodies so that the Fallen would be unable to activate the machine, and this left him severely weak. Thanks to this battle, he had to sit on a life support chair, draining the energy from the Cybertronian protoforms on the ship to regain his strength. But even though his power was cut in half, he was still capable of pulling off some amazing techniques, like teleportation and telekinesis. The only thing that could stop him was another Prime, and since the last Prime was killed off by his pupil, it looked like he was one step away from achieving his goal. That's until Optimus was revived by the Matrix of Leadership and received his jet powers to finish off the Fallen. I feel like if the Fallen was at his full powers, he could have easily stood a chance against defeating Optimus, but unfortunately the odds weren't in his favor. Moving on to our fourth strongest Prime, we have Quintessa. Now this contender is a little bit iffy because I'm not sure if she's actually a Prime or not. She claims to be the creator or the Prime of life, but if my memory serves me correct, we already saw the so-called creators in Age of Extinction. Judging by their weird-looking alien hands, they will most likely be organic compared to the metallic space sorceress. There's also the fact that the Knights of Iacon refer to her as the Great Deceiver, which further implies that she's lying about her moniker.
I am Quintessa, the Prime of life.
Quintessa is the Great Deceiver!
But if we go back deep in the lore, there was a Prime known as Quintus. He was the 10th Prime created by Primus to fight against Unicron. After the age of the Primes was over, Quintus Prime went into space to seed life, hoping to create new races that might one day form peaceful alliances with Cybertron. His first stop was a metal-rich planet he named Quintessa. And it's from there he created the first Quintessons, a manipulative, deceitful race which would become less than friendly with Primus' new creations. So taking all of these traits from the OG Prime of life, we can assume that this is who Quintessa is based on. Even though she never shows off these life-giving powers, she does wield the power to control a Transformer's mind through electroshock torture, and she can throw fireballs that can bring a strong robot like Optimus Prime to its knees. But despite having these abilities, Quintessa requires a lot of assistance to deal with her foes, and this can become a hindrance if her mind control henchman has been taken out. While she was trying to extract the Earth's energy, she charged Megatron to defend her, but with the power of a super kick, Megatron was quickly vanquished, leaving Quintessa open to be attacked from the rear by Bumblebee. The third strongest Prime on this list is Optimus Prime. Yeah, he's not getting that #1 spot this time around, but he's still strong enough to earn a spot in the top 3. Constantly, if not always, depicted as having a strong moral character, excellent leadership, and has sound decision-making skills, and possesses brilliant military tactics, powerful martial arts, and advanced extraterrestrial weaponry, Optimus Prime has a strong sense of honor and justice and is dedicated to building a peaceful and mutually beneficial coexistence with humans. Long ago, he was the humble leader of the Cybertron Science Division, which studied the Allspark and were protected by the High Protector Lord Megatron's military. When Megatron was corrupted by the Fallen, Optimus discovered that he was the last of the dynasty of Primes, hidden away when the Fallen destroyed their lineage. In response to Megatron's attempt to seize the Allspark and conquer the other worlds, Optimus assumed his proper title and rallied the Autobots to stand against the Decepticons. Since then, it's been an all-out tug-of-war between the two factions. Something that seems to be a trademark for this particular version of Optimus is his love of ripping off Decepticons' faces. In every film, he's managed to perform plastic surgery with his Energon blades. Even though he preaches about finding peace, he can be very merciless, which makes him very dangerous for the poor soul who goes up against him. But he does have a huge soft spot for the human beings, which put him in a vulnerable state. If he didn't have them to worry about, he'd be an unstoppable killing machine. This brings me to a Prime who just so happens to not care for the Earthlings, Sentinel Prime. Hailing from a time when Cybertron was the galaxy's crown jewel and the Transformers race was flourishing, Sentinel Prime was a direct descendant of the first Cybertronian Primus and was believed to be the last of the Primes. He was revered by both Autobot and Decepticon, and few dared to stand against his shield and Primax blade. During the climax of the Cybertron War, he left. Though it was believed that the space bridge technology he designed was to turn the tide of war, Sentinel Prime actually made a deal with Megatron to rebuild Cybertron by finding an inhabitable world and enslaving its occupants if there were any. However, Sentinel's ship, the Ark, was crippled and it drifted through the far reaches of space many years, eventually crash landing on Earth's moon in 1961. Fast forward to 2011, Optimus used the Matrix of Leadership to revive Sentinel and put him on game about what happened to the Pillars. Everything seemed to be going great, until Sentinel Prime murdered Ironhide with his Cosmic Rust gun before going on a rampage, slaughtering human soldiers and tearing the Nest base apart. It was from that very instant that we saw how strong the former Autobot leader was. After he opened a space bridge to the moon, him and Optimus got into a scuffle, but Sentinel proved to be too strong for Optimus and easily pinned him down. So Sentinel is definitely stronger than his pupil. He's also stronger than the Decepticon leader Megatron. When Megatron thought he was calling all the shots, Sentinel violently reminded him that he worked with him and not for him.
I have deigned to work with you, that our planet may survive. I will never work for you. And you would be wise to remember the difference.
Sentinel is even able to take on multiple foes at once, which is shown when the combined forces of the other Autobots and the humans tried to overwhelm him. It seemed like nothing could stop him from reviving Cybertron. That's until Optimus and Megatron essentially joined forces and did away with him.
No, Optimus!
Now you're probably asking yourself, why is this video still going if we basically cover all the Primes who exist in the Bayverse? Which is understandable because I have indeed ranked all of the ones we've seen in action. But it wouldn't be right if I didn't include all of the lore that exists within the Bay canon. That's why my #1 spot for the strongest Prime is going to the Dynasty's very own Prima. Known as the Warrior of Light, Prima was the first of the children of Primus. Being one of the first two, Prima had a dark twin in Megatronus who had Unicron-like traits compared to Prima, who was more like Primus. Prima proposed to the Dynasty of Primes that they should make it a rule not to destroy the stars from systems with life.
Henceforth, though our quest is ongoing, perhaps eternal, we shall stop short of harvesting a star that has suckled new life in any shape or form.
He also gave his brother Megatronus the name the Fallen after the latter intentionally destroyed such system. When the Fallen attempted this again on Earth, the original 7 Primes battled him and fell one by one until Primal was left. Primal let the Fallen chase him around the planet until he was weakened by overusing space bridges, allowing Primal to gather his brother's bodies and use their remaining power to banish the Fallen. He presumably created a tomb from his and his brother's bodies to hide the matrix of leadership, giving his own spark to seal it from within. Now, as you can see, Primal bears quite a resemblance to Optimus Prime. This kinda alludes to Optimus being his reincarnation, so it's not too far of a stretch to believe that he was deliberately molded in his ancestor's image to fight whatever threat went against the dynasty's code. Since Primal took on the Fallen when he was at his peak potential, it's only right that he earns the label of the strongest Prime. But that will have to do it for today, guys. It was a pretty tough decision deciding where I wanted to place each Prime, not to mention that I couldn't cover the other Dynasty members like I wanted since they didn't really do much in the films, and they weren't really specified in the film nor the tie-in comics. Anyways, let me know what you think about this list. Do you agree with it, or does your tier list look a little different from mine? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I ask you to like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on my future videos. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on social media. Sharing really makes a difference. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, follow your comment up with hashtag #That'sJustPrime. But once again, this is your boy RVG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.